1, 2, 3. Hi, we're here. No. Hello, Blake, Mike, and Dave here, and we're going to discuss the latest position report. So that came out this morning. This is October's position report. October, just to set a little bit of a stage, is the largest shipment month of the year traditionally. It's always sort of expectant that, boy, are we going to be able to beat that? How is it going to come? So here we are to talk about it. Mike, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, so I think, kind of on the lead up to October, we'd had, just stellar position reports, breaking shipment records every month, like solidly, 30% up in August, 33% up in September. So I think you'd really kind of set yourself up really well on the lead up to this. And I think you're continuing that momentum, especially for the type of month that you have, right? Again, it's the largest month of the year. So for the first time ever, we've shipped 300 or over 300 million pounds in a month. So we shipped 309 million pounds in the month of October. So
that's
stellar.
Spectacular.
And expectations were?
I mean, it was varied. 290 million to maybe a 300 million pounds. Towards like that second half of October, we were really experiencing struggles getting equipment from the port. So containers for our export sales. They've taken some vessels out of rotation due to COVID. We've had some issues with vessels not landing at the port. So logistically, there was some issues. I mean, so it could have been that much better.
It's hard to believe that as big as it was, you're saying, oh, it really could have been bigger.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
For sure.
And so this increase, you would say, is derived from what destinations, what areas of the world?
So some of the same players, right? So in India, again, they took 46 million pounds in the month. So they've taken 146 million pounds in the first 3 months. In the 2019 crop, for the whole year, they had taken 250 million. And I think in the August through October position, last year they had taken maybe 70 million, 68 million pounds.
So over 100% increase just in
110% increase in just India. And the local market has been a little bit depressed in India, but there's been movement, right? I mean, they're coming up on their biggest festival, Diwali. Everybody's getting prepared for. So I think it's very promising. Also, China and Vietnam. So we kind of group those two together when we talk about China. Mm-hmm. They're up 10% for the year. They had a really good October. Vietnam itself was up like 556%. So I mean, they did very well on the lead up to this. Chinese
and seasonally, that Chinese market, are we midway into it, or are you
getting towards the end of that buying run? I think in preparation for the Chinese New Year. There's still people looking for some pretty prompt stuff as soon as you can get it out, and you're not really seeing that Chinese interest go any further. So it's really get me prepared for Chinese New Year. Kind of another little maybe side tangent is, yesterday was November the 11th. That's the double 11 day in China. So it's basically like it's a singles day. So it's the largest e-commerce sales day almost in the globe. I mean, like tens of billions of dollars get spent, pretty much in one day. And so that's a large driver for, the Chinese market. So that just happened. Sounds like they had a pretty good run at it. So a little bit of a side tangent. But I think that's also some positive news. The U.S. domestic market also set a record in the month of October. So that's the second record for the crop year that we've seen from the domestic market, and they were up 18%.
What about our old friends Europe?
Europe year to date is up 11%, and I think from a mature market like that, you never really see double-digit growth. Mm-hmm. Now, hopefully we can hold that for the rest of the crop year, but I mean that's still to be seen.
So I mean, you just described. I mean, I guess you left out the Middle East, but I mean, every sector was pounding away then.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think you look at so we were up 16% for the month of October. That brings our year-to-date shipments up 25%, and your crop receipts that you're bringing in are 14% up, right? So right now you really could start to make an argument that you just had you're in this this marketing cycle, 3 months. You've just put the largest month behind you, and you smashed a record. And you're starting to really solidify a trend that these prices are working. The industry or the supply side of the industry is really taking its medicine. Mm-hmm. It's selling. You're 52% sold. Last year, by the end of November, you were 52% sold. So you're 30 days ahead of where you were last year. So again, I guess coming back to that argument that these prices are working.
What do you think your expectations are for, say, the rest of the calendar year?
Well, I mean, we've been throwing some prices around to growers. We've been giving them opportunities to participate in the market. And for the last couple of weeks, there's been guys and it's been relatively recent, that they've started to say no.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of that as we've gone out to the market with our call growers, and they're just not comfortable with the levels that we're at right now, and so they're comfortable to just hold.
And I think you're also getting a little bit of a group that's well sold as well. So
Right.
so the 52% sold total in the industry is made up of people who are way more than that and people that are way less than that. But I think this is the time of year you're starting to see, okay, a few people may even be done.
Right.
So that takes them off the table. You have that resistance that's coming from people who are saying, I'm not going to take that low price.
Yep.
That's got to be positive.
Yeah.
So go back to those receipts. Is there anything we can read into that? So you're at 14% up.
Yeah.
That $3 billion was 18% up over the previous crop. You were running higher before, right?
25%. Your crop receipts at the end of September were up 25% compared to last year.
So you've slowed down.
I think it's a little early to call it. I mean, obviously it's the process, the infrastructure is probably at capacity, right?
Yeah.
So you probably can't do much more than you're already doing. And you'll probably see November, December, that's where things will start to change, because some of the hullers last year were probably starting to shut down, especially in that central to north part of the valley. So that's probably really what you should be watching out for.
Later, definitely
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
I do know that if I was to say, what do I hear the most? It seems like it's 295 to 3 billion. You don't.
Yeah.
You may get a very outlier that starts to hedge above 3, but I think it's primarily sits as far as just expectations or
Right.
ideas or
Right.
trying to peg your huller against where it fits and
Right.
things like that. So to me, the market sentiment is still the estimate or maybe slightly below.
But even then, let's just say it is the estimate and it's 18% up. I think you're also setting yourself up for a good November. So your year-to-date shipments are up 25%, and November is going to be another solid one. So I think you're starting to solidify again these, that fourth quarter shipments, October through December. If you can get through that period and maintain that 18 to 25% up, I think you're really standing on solid ground.
Kind of moves in towards that bloom season with
Right.
somewhat of a bullish position.
Yeah. At least some confidence.
Yes.
Right? You have some of the weaker players that are going to be out of the market. You have people that are well enough sold that you can actually take a little bit of a break. And I think that's what you're probably going to start to see is some of those seasonal pools start to back off a little bit. Some of those call growers maybe step in or ask for a little bit of a higher price. Whether we get that or not, I think that since the last three, this is the third report that's been, well, actually the fourth report, because July was also very good.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you've never really seen a solid price increase. You did kind of in the run up to the August position report, but after that you've had solid reports and no real payoff for anybody. Maybe this is the one where you can actually say,
I was just going to
look,
say, are you telling me we can get some upward movement?
I think if you have a shot now, better than ever.
We want to wind it up because I know we're running fairly long.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Blake?
I just think it's fantastic news, better than expectations. Growers, I would say, no reason for a panic here, and we look forward to talking to you over the next few weeks.
Yep.
Okay. I would say continue to participate, but let's hope for higher prices.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.